I made this video on my recovery from the Mohs surgery uh, that I had about a month ago. About a month, 6 months ago, 6 weeks ago, I had the surgery. And now it's coming along. It's still got a gnarly scar, but I am doing all right, I think. I think I'm doing all right. I don't know. I'm eating lots of salads and lots of chicken, but I have to admit it's not easy, especially in the world we live where people get their positions in life and just hold on to them dearly. And when you're done with your position, I notice it's like you're just kind of what do I do? You can tell by just watching the world go by how they have the same mailman and the same everything. Everything is just like this repetitive circle. And I keep thinking if I left and went somewhere else, maybe it'd be better, but it'd just be the same. And the reason is because once you retire, the system still works the same. I had to explain that to a lady at the VA where she didn't know why I was so uninformed about a certain situation. And I basically told her, I said, I'm just trying to live my best life, whatever that looks like. I'm not trying to second guess things or try to understand things anymore. She said, what do you mean? I said, well, you guys are part of the system, part of the whole healthcare quagmire of nonsense that nobody ever really understands on the outside. Like you guys are all on the inside, we're on the outside, so we get to a point we just don't care anymore. And I think that's the big problem that you have in this country nowadays is there's a big disconnect between the haves and have-nots. And people say, well, just work harder. Well, when you're my age at 62 years old and you worked 30 years, you don't really want to be back out there digging ditches and climbing under buildings and just justifying why you're not out there. That's what pisses me off, is having to justify. Or people always ask you, so what do you do? I don't do shit. They never ask you what you did. They ask you what you're doing. I could say, well, I was in the Marines. Well, I was in the Navy. Well, I was an electrician. Well, I was a tow truck driver once. I was a loader once. But they don't want to hear that. They want to know what you're doing now. So all those people, I'm getting to a point where I'm like, just leave me alone. Just leave me alone. Don't bother me. And it seems to kind of work. Unless you reach out for help, and then it's like, well, why aren't you doing this? And it's a corrupt system that just really does not work. So I've gotten to a point where I realize that being behind the eight ball just doesn't matter anymore. And but at the same time, there's not a lot of people fall through the cracks out there, and you're just kind of left watching everything kind of burn. Back in the day when things weren't going good, we would burn everything and then just load up a U-Haul and take off. We'd make a big, huge bonfire, burn everything we didn't want, and then just leave a trail of dust behind us. And it worked. I did it coming out of North Carolina back to California once. We just made a huge bonfire back when I was in the Marines. I realized that there was nothing for us, and we left. But then I came back 20 years later, and And it's the same now still. And the only the only thing saving me is the fact that I have a spouse that works and I have a pension. But other than that, uh, it's a struggle. Um, and whatever they're promoting out there, as far as like they promote a lot of beer, alcohol, cigarettes, vapes, you name it. I mean, the stores have everything you could ever imagine. But I'm quitting all that stuff and just doing nothing, doing some meditation, just meditating on just being alive and not chasing anything, just like being sort of letting go. I guess it would be probably the best way to put it. Just letting go, let go of everything. I mean, because what does the world really have to offer? Nothing. The world itself and the society we live in seems to really offer nothing. Depending on where you're at in life, once you get older, you realize the world doesn't have a whole lot to offer. There's a lot of pain if you chase the wrong things. That's one thing I learned. If you chase the wrong things, you're going to end up with a lot of pain. And that could be anywhere from just having a good time, uh, you know, going to clubs or something, or even being outside too long, or being in the sun too much, um, even working too much. But then there's also the whole gene thing. Like, if you're brought up in a certain, like your parents have genes that they pass on to you. So if your parent's an alcoholic, I mean, chances are something's going to be wrong with you. It's just the odds are against you right there. If your parent drank while you were in the womb, there's a good chance that you're going to come out with some kind of defect. Which, in my case, I had an alcoholic mother. And she was a hardcore drunk. So, yeah, early on I had problems, physical problems, earaches, a lot of earaches, and a lot of little things like water on the knees, stuff like that. So you can't really blame yourself if you have some kind of deficit, so-called deficit, whatever society dictates, doesn't really mean anything, it seems like. But they always try to make things like, make it sound like you're at fault if you have something wrong with you. This is not the case. Even if you have an addiction, it's not really the case. Sometimes it's just, you can't control it. It's like some people scratch their nose. They can't stop. I can't stop scratching my nose. It's just, it's like an addiction. People get addictions. I have an addiction. I still do the little vape thing. I can't stop it. But on the other hand, I'm not saving myself anymore. I don't plan on saving myself for anything. Um, I figure if the Lord wants me, if there is a God, and God wants to take me and says, it's okay, it's time, let's go. You've meandered enough in your retirement years. You've taken up enough space. It's time to go. I think I would just be like, all right, whatever. Being scared about it, I'm not really scared about it. I mean, I was in the hospital with meningitis at 43. I survived that. I have no idea how. They thought I was going to be dead for sure, but I survived that. Survived a lot of things in life. Homelessness too, besides working like a pig. suicides in the family, abuse, physical and mental abuse in the family, just all kinds of stuff. So I don't really feel like this life is really that important to hold on to. I just don't, because there's no end game. There's no final, there's no finish line. We try to make everything into a finish line. Like, well, we're gonna run this marathon today, and then you're gonna get to the finish line, and then what? And then, I mean, sure, maybe you'll win, maybe you'll freaking finish. The only thing I would say about that is a lot of people will push themselves to a point of no return. And they could be totally healthy. Like my dad. My dad was completely healthy, 43 years old. And he was a runner. And he ran a half marathon. Usually he'd run half marathons. But he ran either a marathon or a half marathon. I don't remember what it was. But he ran with a rock in his shoe, and it pinched a nerve. And the doctors didn't know what to do about it. Couldn't figure it out because it was causing him all kinds of hell. And he jumped off a 200-foot bridge. He had everything. Cars, houses, had it all. And he said, screw it. One night, jumped off the bridge, 200 feet up above the Coronado Bay, off the Coronado Bay Bridge, and took his own life. So, I don't really know if there is any real answer to a lot of things anymore. I've tried to understand things, but I don't really see any end game. There's no goal line. And one of the things I was reading about, somebody said he had a friend that had he had a friend that was wealthy. And the friend told him that nothing is exciting because I've never had to work for anything, and everything's just been given to me. So, because I had money, and so I don't see life through the eyes of somebody that's just finding something for the first time. In other words, it got dull and boring. So that may be one of the reasons why, as we get older, that we just don't care, because our brains have already experienced what we thought was great, and now it's just not as good. It doesn't feel as good anymore. The same with me with playing the game Doom. Used to love Doom. Played video games. I can play them. I still play them, but I don't get the same rush as I used to. It's not as exciting. And that's the difference between some people, where they can kind of blow things off, be like, whatever. And other people who get stuck on a set pattern. But yet, it may not be boring, it may not be exciting anymore, but they still keep doing it out of boredom. Or because their brain doesn't know what else to think is good. They have run out of things to look forward to. And that's kind of where I sit in life now, where I just ran out of things to look forward to. I've already raised my son. He's long gone. I spent years building stuff. That's gone. I don't want to build stuff anymore. Driving long distances, I've done that quite a few times. Surfing, I did that for many years. Skateboarding, did that. But some of the main things that some of the things you used to like, you may not like anymore. And that's all right. That doesn't mean that you got to jump up and go find something else that oh, God, I'm running out of things to get excited about. And maybe that's like when this meditation can help, where you can detach from this ideology of having to keep chasing things to feel better about your life. I'm working on it, but I have not found it yet. I'm still trying. I understand it, but I've not figured out how to do it. Because my brain will tell me, at least do something. Even go fish. Yesterday I went fishing. But the fishing doesn't really give me that feeling of accomplishment or anything like that, because you're just you're fishing. I did catch some fish and give them away. That was something nice to do. But as far as feeling all excited about it, not really, not a whole lot. So that may be something to think about. When you think that life is just kind of this boring, ridiculous, goal-setting, achievement nonsense that just takes too much human effort. I realize that a lot of things, they just take way too much effort. When I was working as an electrician, everything was effort, because I'd work all night drilling holes in buildings. I mean, what kind of fun is that? You see the friggin' jackhammer all night, hammering holes in buildings, or pulling wire all day through dark places in buildings. It's not fun. At the time, it seemed fun, but it's no longer fun in my mind. I don't want to do it. So the end goal is not just to die. The end goal is to realize that all the things that you did in the past kind of brought you to where you're at here, whether they be good or bad. I mean, usually there's a pretty happy medium, because you screw up a lot of things, but then you do a lot of things right. Sometimes doing nothing is the right thing. Take, for instance, somebody doing the stocks. I mean, you don't see them out digging a ditch. Now they're sitting there waiting. They're waiting. They're waiting and they're watching to see what's going to happen. That's kind of like where life is for me, where it's a waiting game. It's no longer like going out and pursuing things. It's more of when this happens, it happens. And if it doesn't happen, then I guess it just wasn't meant to happen. I mean, I guess those are just some old man wisdoms. I know that chasing things sometimes can get you in a lot of trouble. And I learned that by just observing in my life, seeing how some people are on the freeways. So everybody's going 100 miles an hour. Somebody might get pissed off at somebody else for something. So there's competition constantly. But detaching yourself from that competitiveness is one of the most, well, it's kind of frowned down upon, but at the same time, it's like, you really want to be on that train going 100 miles an hour to 60? And then just getting thrown off the train, saying good luck? A lot of people I know, that's been their life. It's kind of my life now. 100 miles an hour till you're 60, 50 years old, and it's nothing. It's like the train stopped. But as my brother said, who's retired from the Air Force and the DEA, he said I did a hell of a lot. I might have done a lot of damage in the process because there were a lot of beers consumed back in the 90s. And a lot of beer drank, a lot of chewing tobacco chewed, and a lot of work. But all that takes its toll. So, my brother says it was my time to go, and then I had a hell of a time getting there, you know. So, those are some words for thought, I guess. I don't know. When you think about you're missing out, because you're really not missing out. Because even back in the early 90s, they were selling Camel Wide cigarettes. Not too exciting. But getting excited about simple things is how how children are. That could be a musical instrument. I love to play my guitar just because it's, it's kind of calming. It's a natural thing. It's not anything like, it's nothing like over the top, but I like to play guitar. So musical instruments are always a good distraction from everyday life. The internet, probably not so great. I don't even know why I'm on it right now, making this video. Because I was playing Doom. But, alright, so those are my old man advice, words, whatever. And make it a great day.